Hello everyone, welcome back to the Paul Atelier. So glad that you're able to join me today, and I hope all of you are doing well. Today I am very excited to be able to share with you something that has been very close to my heart and something that I've always wished for. I always wished that someone in my hometown would manufacture jade. I think a few years ago when I started my channel, I also featured a piece of jade that I managed to procure from one of my ex-colleagues who was interested in minerals and stone collecting. Actually, I bought that piece of jade stone from him, and it is actually from Mount Kinabalu, which is the highest peak in Southeast Asia. So that was a very special purchase for me because it is from my hometown, and I had no idea that we had jade available in Borneo as well. So from that time until now, obviously, because there are no sort of jade master craftsmen here who can fashion jade jewelry from jade stone, and I've always wished that I really wanted someone to do that. And one day when I brought one of my pendants to be because I wanted to attach a bail onto that piece of jade pendant, and I was walking around because they said it would take about an hour, and it was at a shopping center, and then I actually stumbled across this new shop by accident. So it was a very happy coincidence that I discovered it. And in that shop, even though they had not much selection, they had some jade earrings, jade bangles and necklaces, and I really wanted to get one, and I was immediately attracted to this pair of earrings because I felt the design was so unique. Most of it, you can see that it is handmade. It is not manufactured by machine. So that made it even more special because it gives that human touch, and you know that it is made by a local artisan. And there were other different types of jade earrings, but I was immediately attracted to this one because I've never seen this kind of a design before. And I hesitated because the jade bead itself is very large. I think it's almost 20 mm and very heavy. As you can see, when I'm wearing it, it's actually pulling on my earlobes. It is that heavy, but the design of it is so unique, and I wasn't really attracted to the other designs with a smaller jade bead. So eventually I decided on this one. So what is so special about this pair of jade earrings is that it is in a nephrite form, and it is in the most raw form that there is. Truthfully speaking, a lot of the jade pieces nowadays have been treated chemically so that it gives up a more gelatinous and translucent texture and aspect to it. So I really love this because this is very old school, in inverted comma speaking. If you look at a lot of the imperial jewelry from past dynasties of China, at that point in time, obviously they have not been exposed to any of these chemicals, and this is how the actual jade pieces would have looked like in ancient times in its most raw form. So meaning to say that when you get the jade slab and then you fashion it into some sort of a jewelry form, it would look exactly like where you found it in that jade slab. It wouldn't have been subjected to any kind of chemical treatment. So this is in its exact form, and I really love that actually because it has got so much character. Even though I know that in modern times people really are interested in the translucent, transparent types of jade, but you can see that a lot of jade collectors, they do seek out village where and they would seek out these really elderly women and buy off family raw forms of jade, and you can see markings of previous pieces of jade bangles that has been cut out of the jade slab, and they would purchase it because they know that these pieces are very, very rare and almost impossible to get nowadays. So even though they are dealing with jade and dealing with very, very modern pieces, they do still seek out all these ancient styles of jade to keep in their collection because they know that it is very, very special. It is a part of jade history, and I really love the color of it. This is in a very deep, dark, rich, intense olive green color, almost going into the black color, and then it's got some texture and gradation of color, so that there is that very, very interesting mix, sort of like a marbled effect on it. I just feel that it is such a magnificent piece, and I'm very, very humbled and very, very grateful that I'm able to add this to my collection. And at the same time, by a happy coincidence, I actually got this from my vintage store on their online store. This kind of a design was famous in the 1950s to the 1960s, and you can definitely see this type of a design from that time period. So I was very, very excited to get this, and then when I paired it together, it seemed to be like it was a match made in heaven, because the pair of dangly earrings has got some gold accents to it, as well as this brooch. It is very, very modern, and I feel that it is so unique. For more information about jade, do check out my playlist towards the end. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a fabulous week ahead. Goodbye.